Well, it's now time for the second and final DD2 Masters heat here at Adria Karting Raceway for the first round of the 2019 Rotax Max Euro Trophy. So, the starting order is as follows. It will be Roberto Pajewski on pole position. Alongside him will be Sławomir Morański from Poland. Christoph Adams will start from third position with Rudy Champion in fourth place. Konrad Bayer starts in fifth ahead of Karl Klebord with Michael Becker, Reinaldo Kremiger and Geza Fodor rounding out the 9 strong. Again, the timer is reset to 10 minutes plus an additional lap. So we now go on to the formation lap here at Adria Karting Raceway, 1,302 meters in length, 10 fantastic turns and a start-finish straight that provides a lot of slipstreaming opportunities into the right-hand sweeper at turn 1, where I don't even think that the drivers do lift off the throttle. Local air temperature is 26 degrees Celsius. So which was set to hit a potential high of around about 27, but 26 is still pretty hot to contest with, as we will have Pajewski and Morański again controlling the pace here in this second and final heat. It's race 8 of the weekend here at Adria. So DD2 Masters, 10 minutes plus an additional lap. Last time it was Pajewski that finished first, Christoph Adams in second, with Karl Klebord finishing ahead of the defending champion Sławomir Morański, who got a 3-second penalty for exceeding track limits by... Now, I'm thinking that might be a... wondering, is that a full start or have we gone green? Because someone was gesturing, wondering whether that might have been Karl Klebord. So, yep, that looks to be the case. Full start called before we had even got things underway. So, hopefully it'll be second time this time around. So again, it will be Pajewski on pole, Morański alongside on the front row. Christoph Adams, Rudy Champion row 2, Konrad Bayer, Karl Klebord row 3, and of Michael Becker, Reinaldo Kremiger and Geza Fodor, completing the 9 strong contingent here at Adria. So nicely controlled by both Pajewski and Morański. They want to make sure that we get going with lights out very shortly for 10 minutes plus an additional lap. So everyone is in formation. So Pajewski pulls up alongside and slightly past Morański as the drivers come round. Turn number 10, the final corner here at Adria. We go into the tram lines, the revs rise. And it looks like we have gone lights out this time. So Adams, right, let's just see what's going on at the moment. So Rudy Champion still in 4th position. Konrad Bayer finished in 8th in the first heat. Let's see if he can hang on to 5th, because he's got the likes of Karl Klebord, Michael Becker, Reinaldo Kremiger, who did have a bit of a tough time in the first heat, let's be completely honest. Well, Karl Klebord's right on the back bumper of slingshots past Konrad Bayer quite cleanly there for 5th position going into turn 6. Whereas Christoph Adams was thinking of a move on Sławomir Morański, but the treble 5 on the Sody Kart chassis thought better of it at the moment. Meanwhile, the 2 leaders come through. So Pajewski fractionally ahead of Morański at the moment. Adams in 3rd. Champion, Klebord, Kremiger. Well, now, funny thing is that on one lap, Konrad Bayer goes from 5th to 9th position, but as he admitted to me earlier on this weekend, well, that was very wide out of turn 2 from Michael Becker, I must admit. Konrad Bayer's just here to have a bit of fun, and he is fulfilling his petrol head urges. Let's be completely truthful about that. He's kept in touch with the rest of the competition throughout the weekend so far. He's still looking for that extra couple of 2 or 3 tenths, but he has kept pretty consistent on lap times. So at the moment, Pajewski was leading by about 0.3 of a second ahead of Sławomir Morański as they come through turn 9, through the sort of like left-right kink straight away before going onto the main straight itself. So the gap between first and second now extends by a further 8/100ths. Fastest lap of the race, nevertheless, again, is the fastest Baker in Flanders. Carl Klebort in the 5:10. That was a brilliant lap from the Bouvin Power driver. Very nice guy, very down to earth, and very always smiling whenever I see him. A 51.440 on lap number 2. We're on to lap number 3 here. 7 minutes and 52 seconds, plus an additional lap to go. Obviously, Morański and Champion will be very wise to the fact that they've got to keep it a little bit cleaner. So they might have to sacrifice that ultimate pace to help them make sure that they stay where they were. Because Morański could have got second. Champion could have got probably, I think, 5th. So they are in the places that they were at a little bit earlier on, but they have no 3-second penalty to their credit at the minute. And as I say that, the 5:26 of Michael Becker now comes foul of that regulation. So 3 seconds, 2 wheels outside of the tram line, out of the corridor of the track. So track limits. So they normally keep it under close scrutiny. If they see it happen too many times, that driver will get pinged for a 3-second penalty. So Michael Becker at the moment is effectively on aggregate stone dead last, because the driver who is in last position at the moment is Geza Fodor on the Paralin chassis. So Konrad Bayer has got past the 5.99 for position and has done a 51.795. That's pretty good going from Konrad. So he's about on par with the likes of Becker and Champion, but Becker's going to have to work a bit harder and try and get a bit more of a gap. Well, Becker's now got a, hasn't really got that much of a help at the moment, because Kremiger, Fodor and Bayer are keeping in close proximity. This is exactly what happened in the first heat earlier on today. So Konrad Bayer was still running in 9th position, but as a result of Rudy Champion taking a 3-second penalty for doing what Michael Beckers has just done, exceeded the track limits by 2 wheels on too much of an occasion. So Pajewski's lead over Sławomir Morański is now 0.668 seconds at this moment. We're now on to lap number 5 here. So 5 minutes and 51 seconds to go. So all the drivers lapping sub 52 seconds. Wondering Pajewski has just gone to within 1/1000th of a second of going sub 51. Morański a 51.024 from the defending champion. Christophe Adams up into 3rd place, so Rudy Champion now down into 4th, having also been passed by Carl Klebort. So it's 3/10 between 3rd and 4th as they go through turn 4 now. These two, as I said earlier, have been battling in the B&L karting series. Now their war rages on in the Rotax Max Euro Trophy, but I think Christophe Adams is quite happy with that. So with that in mind, I do also have to make a quick housekeeping announcement. Driver number 361, Leon Mandel. 361, Leon Mandel. Number 444, that's number 444 from DD2. And that is Riccardo Alberti, 444. And then Vili Villainen, 416. Can you also report to the stewards? So Leon Mandel, 361. Riccardo Alberti, 444. And Vili Villainen, 416. Please report to the stewards immediately. Thank you. So 4 minutes and 25 seconds. The gap between first and second now is being extended because Roberto Pajewski has gone sub 51 seconds. 50.903. Morański is now nearly 8.5 of a second adrift from the leader at the moment. Could be a little bit further. Well, now, let's just see what happens here. 50.870 from the leader. 50.936. And Michael Becker's just done a 50.904. But Pajewski, on that last lap around, has just done the fastest tour of this race alone, as he carries on his merry way. So we're getting into towards the last quarter in terms of time, this race. So 3 minutes 21 seconds, plus an additional lap to go. So Brzezowski's lead, will it get above a second this time? It looks to be possibly the case. Yes, it is. Nearly 1.1 seconds. So Karl Klebort and is about nearly half a second adrift of Christoph Adams, who's still circulating in third place at the minute. So the 5:26 of Michael Becker has got Reinaldo Gremiger for company at the moment. And then a little bit further back we have, well, let's just see. No, that doesn't look to be the case because Becker has just got past Rudy Champion for position. So Becker now up into 5th place, and that was going through into turn number 5 and 6. Reinaldo Gremiger has got past Geza Fodor. Drivers, please. 361. So 361, 444, and 416. Can you please report to the stewards? So apologies for that. I forgot to take off the mute button. My apologies. It happens. But we've got 1 minute and 45 seconds to go. Roberto Brzezowski has a lead of just under 1.1 seconds over Slavomir Moransky. Christoph Adams rounds out the top 3. Karl Klebort in 4th position. Michael Becker, who's got a 3-second penalty for going outside of track limits. And in terms of where he stands at the moment, this will actually put him stone dead last. So Konrad Bayer has around about 2 or so minutes to keep himself as close as possible to Reinaldo Gremiger and also Geza Fodor, who are just in front, and they are battling away over 7th position. On the clock here in this race. So it's the second and last DD2 Masters race here today. So they get a bit of an extended séjour, as they say in France, this evening. So rest and relaxation. The gap between first and second is just over 1.4 seconds between Roberto Brzezowski, who has had a bit of the measure on Moransky this weekend, and came up ahead of the defending champion of the Euro Trophy Open 5 weeks ago. So final lap board is being shown to Roberto Brzezowski, whose lead now is just over 1.75 seconds on Slavomir Moransky. Christoph Adams a further 1.7 seconds adrift in third, who is in turn about half a second ahead of Karl Klebort. Michael Becker, who has a 3-second penalty, is going to be very close to being on aggregate last, but that depends on Konrad Bayer in the next few corners or so, because Konrad is about 3.1 seconds adrift of his RS competition stablemate. So if Konrad can get to within 9.2 seconds off of the leader, again for the second race in succession, he will not be last, but the checkered flag is going to wave once again for the second time today for Roberto Brzezowski. In the 5:66, Slavomir Moransky finishes in second. Christoph Adams and Karl Klebort round out the top 4 positions. Oh, that was very close indeed, because Michael Becker has received a 3-second penalty for going 2 wheels outside of track limits. So this will put him on aggregate down into 8th place. But Roberto Brzezowski wins the second heat for DD2 Masters. So the second and final time we see them today before we see them back tomorrow for their first of two finals here for round one in Adria. So Roberto Brzezowski wins ahead of Sławomir Morański. Christoph Adams rounds out the top three. Karl Klebort finishes in 4th position ahead of Michael Becker, who, as I said, has received a 3-second penalty, so will drop down to 8th place, which means that Rudy Champion from France takes 5th ahead of Ronaldo Kremiger, Geza Fodor, Michael Becker now in 8th ahead of Konrad Bayer, who was 9.7 seconds off of the leader at the end of that race. But still, a good showing from him, putting in some very consistent lap times. We'll see DD2 Masters in action here tomorrow at Adria.